I'm Roxy with Roxy's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel, and if you like everything about musical theater, don't forget to click and subscribe. And so I realized I have done a lot of videos about what's coming to Broadway and the upcoming season of Broadway. But I don't think I've done a video about the upcoming season of the West End and new musicals coming to the West End. And I do have an audience in the UK, and I was looking and I realized, oh wow, there's a ton of musicals coming to the West End from like January to July, a ton. And there are so many musicals that end up transferring from the West End to Broadway. So I want to break these down. Starting with Scissorhands, a new musical based on the Tim Burton classic that starred Johnny Depp in the title role. This is going to be a jukebox musical with music with Taylor Swift and Alanis Morissette and Lady Gaga and a host of other artists. So that could be really fun. I like Edward Scissorhands. Clueless, the musical. This was also a popular movie about a rich girl and in high school and all her antics and journey through life. So that might be fun. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Now, this was an Emmy award-winning TV series that was popular in like the mid-50s to 60s. Alfred Hitchcock himself would direct some of the episodes. He would get stars like Steve McQueen and Bette Davis to star in the episodes. It was typical Hitchcock. Some of the episodes were like mysterious or creepy or some wit. I mean, Alfred Hitchcock was witty. I never saw the originals. It was before my time, and I don't think I've even seen like reruns on TV. But anyway, the musical is supposed to weave some of these episodes together and kind of make it a whodunit journey for the audience set against jazz music. I don't know. It could be really interesting. Could be fun. All right, Stiletto. It seems like a really dark musical, like really dark. 18th century Italy, about 5,000 young boys, mainly poor, were castrated. I don't know, can I even say that on YouTube? Okay, castrated, so they could keep their high voice, that female, really, high sounding voice, in the hopes of making them, well, they promised them that they would be rich female opera stars, but that didn't happen. So, I don't know. Moving on. Midnight Cowboy. I think this is based on the really classic movie that starred Jon Voight and Dustin Hoffman. I can't believe I've never seen this movie, but it's about a kind of a down on his luck guy that wants to become something, moves to the big city, wants to make it big. He meets another kind of down and out guy, and they're kind of both just lost together. Muriel's Wedding. This is another popular movie. It's about a woman who kind of has a dead-end life, and she dreams of the perfect life for herself. She wants the perfect guy. She wants the perfect wedding. She just needs the groom. She finds it. And then once she gets married, like everything starts to go wrong. It's kind of like Be Careful What You Wish For. All right. The Great Gatsby. Now, this is transferring from Broadway. The Great Gatsby has been over here a little over a year. And audiences love it. Ticket sales are out the roof. The critics didn't really like it, and it was snubbed at the Tonys. I think it only was nominated for like maybe best costume, best set, something like that. Jeremy Jordan, who starred as the Great Gatsby, just had his final performance, I think like January 19th. I don't think he'll be recreating the role over on the West End because he's getting ready to open Floyd Collins here on Broadway starting in April. And I think that's about when it's going to open in the West End. So, I don't know. Maybe your critics will like it. I don't know. Maybe it'll be well received in the West End. I know we're also waiting for another Gatsby musical by Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine. Maybe that will fare better with our critics. Here we are, starring Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Jane Krakowski, two of my favorite performers. It's about friends going to brunch and everything goes wrong. Just for one. A day that rock and roll changed the world. That could be interesting. The Frogs. This is a very, like, rarely done Sondheim musical. It's about Dionysus and Xanthias that take a leap of faith and go down to Hades to try and help an ailing world. Yeah. That's kind of appropriate for right now. King of Pangaea. The description was long on this, and just concisely putting it, it's about a guy who kind of goes back to a childhood dream world. I know that's oversimplifying it. London Road. This takes place in the fall of 2006. So I don't know if it's a true story. I mean, that's when it's set, but I don't know. It's about a small town that 5 bodies are found of women. 5 women's bodies are found. And an occupant of London Road is charged and arrested for these crimes. And then this town suddenly becomes famous and well known for this crime and its occupant. And they become like the epicenter of this tragedy. And they do not want this attention. Evita, the revival of Evita is coming back to the West End. This is my all-time favorite show. I've said it in a ton of videos. There's kind of some hubbub around, like, who's going to be Evita? Who's going to get the title role of Eva Perón? I will definitely make a video on that when that comes out, because I will have something to say on who is Evita. Sing Street. There's been buzz around Sing Street forever. Like, several years they've been saying, oh, Sing Street's coming to Broadway. Sing Street's coming to Broadway. But it's opening on the West End, so maybe it'll eventually come back to Broadway. It takes place in 80s Dublin. It's about a young boy who's having, like, family life issues, and he's not very popular in school, and then he meets a girl, and he's like, oh, I want her to be the lead singer in my band that I don't have yet. Show on the Roof. 1955, it takes place in 1955 U.S., It's about a guy who does these shows on his roof. I don't know if it's an apartment roof or it'd have to be. I mean, most roofs here in the U.S. you could not do a show on unless it's an apartment roof. And he tells these tales and then secrets come out in these shows. I don't know. I don't know, interesting. I don't know, maybe. And then 101 Dalmatians is finally making its way to the West End. I don't know how it works over there. I know over here, like, there's off-Broadway shows, and then they finally, some of them make their way to Broadway. Then there's, like, different cities that maybe have workshop productions, or they try them out in bigger cities, like maybe Chicago, LA, whatnot. Then they maybe make their way to Broadway. Like I say, some transfer from the West End over here. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's dozens of theaters over there, and then have previews or tryouts, and then maybe they make their way to the West End. So, I would love it if somebody would, tell me how that works over there. That way I would finally understand how you do that. Anyway, I hope you liked that. Don't forget to click and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next.